Grandma, listen. I was able to get 100 points on my English test.
Oh my, that's wonderful, Alex. Did you study a lot for it?
Not really. I just did my homework every day like the teacher told me to. She said I didn't have to study much as long as I did my homework every night.
Is that so? But it's really difficult for a lot of people to get 100 points by just doing their homework. Your dad was never able to get 100 points on any of his tests when he was your age.
Are you sure? I thought Dad was a really smart man.
And he is, Alex, but he wasn't always that way.
I guess you're right. Dad knows a lot of things, but he's always said he's bad at English. I'll start helping him with his English from now on.
Yes, please help him out. Are you still talking a lot with your dad?
Yep. We talk to each other every day when we have time, but Dad said there's a time difference. That's what he has. So he can only reply to me in the morning or at night.
That's right. Right now, the country that Dad is living in right now has a different time than where you live.
I really want to play games with Dad more. Dad and I talk to each other a lot about the video games we play, and I've become a lot better at them now. And I want to show him.
You're talking about that game system your dad got for you this year. For your birthday present, right? You guys like to play that game where you fight each other, right?
That's right. Do you want to try it, Grandma? I'll teach you all the moves.
Oh, you think that your grandma could play a game like that? I never really played any video games like that when I was your age, so I'm not sure what to do.
I think you can do it. Everyone sucks when they first start playing. So you don't have to worry.
Thank you, Alex. Then I guess your grandma is just going to have to buy that game system for herself. Then I'll be able to play with you, right?
Yeah. Make sure you buy it, Grandma.
I'll think about it, okay? Where's your mom at right now?
Nope, she's not here. She told me she's gonna buy food for us.
That's what I thought. Well, it's really amazing of you to be able to stay at home all by yourself without Mom there.
I'm in the 3rd grade now, so I think I can handle being here. But I do miss seeing Dad all the time. I want to go out to play with him again, and maybe go to the arcade together.
And your dad always tells me that he wants to come home to see you, Alex.
Does he?
Well, of course he does. To your dad, you are the most important thing that's ever happened to him. And of course, you're the most important thing to me now as well.
I want to go where Dad is now and try living with him.
Huh?
Dad sends me all these pictures of the places he's living, and it makes me really want to go there too.
Has anything happened with you and your mom?
No, nothing. You know how I can go and see Dad?
Well, Alex, you're going to have to wait for your dad to come back to the US. Or maybe the next time you have a nice long break from school, like summer vacation. Then you might have time to go to the country he lives in and stay with him.
Are you sure?
Well, your mom and dad will have to talk about it first. And if they both say it's okay, then I think you can go see him.
They both have to say okay? Okay. I think Mom will be okay with me going to see him.
I sure hope so. That's right. Do you want Grandma to go talk to your mom about it and see what she thinks?
Can you do that? Thank you! I want you to talk to her right now.
Well, I can't ask her right now. But later on, I'll make sure to talk to her and ask.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go do my homework now.
You're so good about that kind of thing, Alex. Make sure to tell your dad later that you got 100 points on that test, okay? I'm sure he'll be so proud of you for that. Talk to you later, Alex.
Bye-bye, Grandma.
Hello, Casey. Are you able to talk for a little bit with me? Delia, it's been a long time since we last had a chance to chat. Did something happen that you wanted to talk about? Well, I have something to talk with you about regarding Alex. Regarding Alex? What's happened with him? Well, it seems like Alex would really like to go and meet his dad. When I was texting with him yesterday, he told me quite a bit about how he misses his dad and wants to go see him. Ugh. But you realize that Drake isn't in the States right now, right? Does this mean he'll be moving back home here soon where Alex will be able to go see him again? Because if he is, I need to talk with him in person again. No, I don't think so. I believe he's still technically going to be living there for a long time. Now, back to what I was talking about. Because it actually has a lot to do with Drake not being back in the States for a while. Do you think during Alex's summer break, or some other times closer to Christmas, you can allow him to go and see his dad? Are you kidding me? He's only in elementary school, and you're asking me to allow him to go overseas to see his dad? Of course, I'm planning on going with him for the flight out there. And also, I'd be willing to pay for his ticket on the plane. It's been a very long time now since Alex has seen his dad, right? So I'd really like for Alex to have a chance to go out there and see his dad and hang out with him for a little while. He keeps telling me how much he wants to go and play with his dad now. Oh, that's amazing. A family like yours, which is so fortunate, really does see things differently from me and my family. Thinking that it's all right to take an elementary schooler overseas on vacation? And you, his grandma, are willing to pay for that trip. Do you understand that something like that costs a lot of money? Well, it's not like my family has that much money to say we're able to go anywhere we please. His dad is no longer around him, and he keeps talking with me about how much he wants to go and see him. I can't just let my grandson go without his dad for such a long time now, can I? But in this day and age, taking your family overseas on vacation is a lot of money, and means that your family must have a lot of wealth. I would understand it if this was Canada or Mexico we were talking about, but Drake is all the way in South Korea. That's about a 10 to 11 hour flight from here, right? I understand that you might have the money from your husband for a trip like that, but I'm a single mother with only my son. Having my son realize that I don't have the kind of money you do is not fair. You're talking about something like that? I understand that you're getting more than enough from Drake in child support for Alex, right? Even still, there are a lot of bills to pay here, and with inflation, we might have the money that he gives us, but that's not enough to allow us to spend on whatever I'd like. The inflation is already starting to kill me, and it's not like I can work more because I have to care for my son half the day. Let me tell you this, Delia. If you have the money to take yourself and Alex overseas, then you could at least start helping pay for Alex and myself some more. Is it really that tight over there right now? Drake has told me a dozen times now that he's giving you both enough money to live without having to worry about debt. But I told you there are a lot of bills here. I have to start taking out small loans for the sake of my son. You and your son have all that money, while I'm over here working my butt off to try and raise my boy all by myself. Yet you're asking me to allow you and Alex to go overseas to go see his dad? It's a bit messed up of you to think you can ask me something like that when I'm already tied up with financial issues. I'm sorry, Casey. I was just asking about that to try and get Alex to feel a little less lonely. Saying something like that isn't helping. I have literally been working day and night so that kid doesn't have to feel lonely. You really have no idea what kind of troubles I've been going through over here. Try to be a bit more delicate with your wording, would you? Don't tell me that you're still upset that I got custody of my son in the divorce. If you have a complaint to make about it still, then you can go and complain to the US court system. The whole reason this happened is because everyone sees that the mother has every right to her children. I wasn't meaning for any of this to come off that way. Then let's just act as though you never asked me anything like that. But even though you both are divorced now, Alex has a right to see his father. And I feel that letting him have enough time with both of his parents is very important for his growth into a mature adult. Of course, I'm thankful that he has a mother like you that is able to work hard to raise and care for my grandson. But that's why I want you to think a little more about Alex seeing his father as well. I've been giving Alex a lot of my time already, Delia. And I've been getting kind in getting Alex a phone so that he can talk to his dad when he wants to. Also, he'll be able to see Drake when Drake is back in the States, right? So what else do you want me to do for him? I can't help that his father decided to go overseas for work. If you're going to keep asking the impossible of me, then I have every right to take your guys' ability of ever hearing from Alex again away from you both. Understood, Casey. I'm sorry for not thinking about your situation before asking. Well, if you do understand me, then we're good. Now, I believe that you and I are done talking about something as serious as this. But let me tell you that if I start to hear about this from Drake, I'll be pissed. You have to understand that it's my right to raise my son the way I want to, and that you need to stop nitpicking everything I do around here. I'm the only one having to go through the worst of it right now, and you'd better understand that as well. I know. I'm really sorry, Casey. It hurts me hearing that you want to have my son go all the way out there to see Drake. Having to even let him talk on the phone with his dad hurts, so I really don't want to allow anything more at this time. I can't stand to think about Drake anymore, so I hope you'll stop trying. But Casey, if you'd really like a bit of a wake-up call, remember that you're the reason Drake left you after you cheated on him, right? And so what? Are you trying to tell me that the one that cheated can't have bad memories of her own? Are you trying to say that someone like me shouldn't have the right to my son? The whole reason I went out with another man is because your son didn't know how to treat me right. So stop trying to make me look like I did all of this to you guys. I'm more of a victim here than all of you are. And one last thing. Stop talking about something as private as the reason my ex and I went our separate ways. I'm sorry for overreaching into a subject such as that. Well, I'll have a talk with my son, and if he says anything about making it back home for a bit, I'll let you know. Even that is a bit of the pain in the butt for me, though. Ugh. And if you really want to take my son on a trip with you to go see his dad, then at least give me just as much money as Drake is every month, please. Then I might think about letting you take him. If you can do that for me, then you're free to talk to me again. If it's not about money, then don't bother me. It's a real problem for me when you try to talk to me about my life.
Grandma?
Alex? It's rare of you to text me this late in the evening. Shouldn't you be getting yourself ready for bed now?
I want you to help me, Grandma. Please. I don't like it here.
What's going on there? Where are you at right now?
I don't know. It's really dark and there isn't a lot of space.
It's dark and there's not a lot of space. Are you saying there are no lights for you to turn on there?
Yeah. I don't know where I am, Grandma. I'm scared. Why am I here right now?
Alex, calm down. Take some deep breaths and relax.
Okay. It's really scary and hard to move.
It's going to be okay. I think it's only hard for you right now because you're scared. Also, you have the light on your phone, right? Can you use the flashlight to look around you?
It's too small in here and I can't move.
So you think it's too small for you to move around right now, right?
Yes. I can move my arms just a little, but I can't stand up.
Do you hear any sounds?
I can hear cars sometimes, driving by, I think.
So you must be outside, right? Is it hot right now or cold?
It's a little warm, and I'm starting to get a little warmer.
Why are you outside right now? You don't know the reason why, right?
Yeah, Mom and I had a fight, and I ran back to my room and started to cry. I fell asleep, and when I woke up, I was in here.
You got into a fight with your mom. Why did you guys fight?
I told her that I want to go and live with Dad, and after that, she was really mad at me.
What?
I think Mom put me in here. She told me that the bad kids will get thrown away if they don't be nice to their moms.
Alex, your grandma is going to come and save you right now.
Do you know where I am?
Your dad told me a long time ago a great way to find out where you are when you're lost, so I'll use that. I'll be able to look for your phone on my phone and see where you're at. When I do, I'll be right there for you.
Really?
Yes, so everything will be just fine, Alex. I'll be there to help you really soon. Delia, what the hell is going on here? I have over 1 million voicemails from you on my phone right now, and it's lagging the whole thing out. Do you have any idea what time it is right now? You're actually causing me to lose precious sleep. And I want to ask you, Casey, if you have any idea what you've done. Huh? I'm talking about what you've done to Alex. I found Alex in the trunk of the car. This is all you're doing, isn't it? What the hell were you thinking? I can't even begin to believe what I've seen here. Alex was in the car's trunk? Like, in the back of my car. What are you talking about right now? I want you to stop playing dumb with me right now. I've already heard about everything from Alex, so you'd better start telling me the truth right now. He told me that he said to you that he wants to go live with his dad, and you did this to him because of that, right? I have no clue what you're going on about. I'm sure that kid did it to himself without thinking what he was doing. Then can you tell me where you're at right now? I had something to attend to, so I had to leave the house. But didn't you just say to me you were sleeping? That was just to express my disbelief. Well then, what do you have to attend to right now? Does it really have anything to do with you, Delia? It sure as hell does, actually. I can see that right now you don't understand just how much trouble you're really in for now, do you? If you take a look in your voicemails, you'll see that I'm not the only one that's been trying to get a hold of you, right? Yes, but I'm sure that was just you trying to call me from another phone, right? You knew I wouldn't answer to you calling me with your number, so you tried calling me with your home phone, right? Take a better look at that number. I feel that I shouldn't even be having to ask you to look right now, though. That number is from the county police department. Huh? Did you call the police over this? You should be getting in touch with me before you go and getting them involved. You never answered me, right? Are you mentally deranged, Casey? You already acknowledged all the calls I had given you, right? But why are the police trying to call me now? What did you say to them to get them to call me this much? You left your son in the trunk of your car, and then you left your car with him in it before leaving your house. I didn't know that. I told you already that there's no need to lie about this anymore. I know exactly what's been going on with you and taking care of Alex in your house, and that kind of thing needs to change. Never coming back to your house for days at a time, leaving him there all alone to fend for himself. And you threatened him by asking that he never talk about what goes on at your house to anyone besides yourself, right? I never did something like that. I even gave Alex's elementary school a call. They told me that there are times where he never changes his clothes and is always in the same pair. There have already been a bunch of moms complaining to the school, wondering if your son is really being taken care of well enough or not. This is all what his homeroom teacher told me. And to be honest, you've gotten calls plenty of times from his teachers before, right? That's just the kind of kid he is. Alex likes to wear the same clothes over and over again without ever getting changed. So blaming me for something like that, you're starting to make me look like the problem. Ugh, it's a waste of time trying to get you to talk about this. We are already on top of things and will have all the evidence we need of you not taking care of Alex like a mother should. And as for what's happened this time, there's a security camera that was overlooking your car the whole time that we'll be looking over. So it's over. I'm going to let the law handle you the way it should have been years ago. Hold on, please. You don't have to make such a huge deal out of this. What about everything that's been going on doesn't warrant it being a huge deal? You have it all wrong. There's a good reason for everything. A good reason, huh? And what the hell is that good reason you have? Alex has been so selfish lately about things, and it's been driving me up the wall. So I chose to put him in the back of that car as a way to get him to understand that he's being a little brat and needs to stop. So you're telling me that you did in fact put him in the trunk? Well, no matter how you try and justify it, that was not okay. And what the hell, Casey? You're going to put your son into the trunk of your car at this time of the night, and then you drove your car down the road a little bit and left it in a dark alley where nobody would see or find him. Tell me, Casey, how long were you planning on him being in this trunk without any food or water as the temperature continued to rise in it? He was beginning to have a panic attack, and had I not come for him, he would have asphyxiated himself. What would have happened then? I just assumed this would make him apologize to me. I gave him his phone to bring with him. I just thought he'd send me a text saying sorry. But haven't you noticed that he never bothered to talk to you, instead choosing to talk to his grandma that lives outside of town? You understand what that means about his relation to you, right? To him, you're not the kind of person he thinks will come to help him. I also happen to be stressed about work, so I might have taken that out a little on him as a way of cooling myself down. So can you please just tell the police that this was all an accident and we can get back to being a happy family? Just tell them that you misread the situation and that Alex and I were just playing hide and seek. I promise to never do something like this again, okay? I'm not going to let you have a second chance. From now on, my son and I will be the ones to raise Alex, and without you being a part of his life. And how is Drake going to help you look after him when he's on the other side of the world? Drake told me that if there was an emergency, he'd come home. He's already been informed of this and is on his way back as we speak. And he'll be coming to see you very soon so that he can get the custody of his son that was always meant to be his. I'm coming to get Alex. Are you? Then you can hurry up and make it over to the police department to see us. Right now, Alex is really exhausted after everything that's happened to him, and he's sleeping in the commissioner's office. Delia, I really did make a mistake this time. So just forgive me for this and let me have him back. Please. At least don't ask the police to be part of this anymore. I'm not sure how many times you'll have to hear this, but what you've been doing to Alex is exactly what mothers should not be doing. You've been getting $2,000 a month from my son for Alex, right? Well, I think he should have been giving you a lot less for child support, because that's too much for Alex at the age he is. So tell me, Casey, how have you not had enough money to raise Alex? I hear you even got money from him when you last met him, right? You've really had it made for yourself, yet you chose to be the stupidest mother on the planet and played too close to the edge. I'm not going to allow you the chance of being Alex's mother ever again, you hear me? But Alex is really important to me. I can't think of what life would be like if he was taken away from me. So please, don't take away the happy future I want to have with my son. I promise I'll never hurt him again. I will make sure to never let him feel lonely or helpless ever again. Well, you should have been doing that long before today, Casey. You say he was important to you, but what you've been doing shows everyone the opposite of that. You always love to cry about how you're the one that suffers the most after the divorce you created. But the only one who's actually been suffering is Alex, right? I want you to remember this day and learn from your terrible mistakes as a wife and a mother. That's all you have left in life, right? To feel the regret for all the horrible things you've done, since you can't even raise your own son. From there, my son made an immediate flight back from his business trip in Korea to come and see Casey and make sure that she was arrested. He was then able to file all the correct paperwork with both the police and the court and won full custody of his boy. Also, when it came to how Casey was living, she had no job at all and was using the money she got as child support to only care for herself. And that's the reason why she always cried about not having enough money for herself and Alex. And actually, right after Casey had put Alex in the trunk of her car and parked it down the road, she went with a man she was fooling around with back to his house to spend the night. But when he learned that she had a son, and learned about how she was raising him, he immediately told her off and kicked her out of his house. It seems that even the man she loved more than her own son didn't see her actions as humane and justified, and was willing to kick her out of his place while she was only in her underwear, in order to not have to be around her again. Casey was taken into police custody the next morning after being found by Drake sitting on a park bench crying, and she was taken to court to be tried for multiple crimes relating to what she'd done with Alex. When the final hearing was done and there was nothing else to say, she was charged with parental negligence and attempted murder after leaving her son in the car trunk on purpose. My son and I were also asked if we'd like to ask for a settlement for the damages this caused to us, but we declined, knowing that she had no money to give now. After her trial, she had landed herself in prison, where she'll now be serving a year-long sentence with parole following after that. She might only be there for a year, but with everyone learning of the horrible things she's done, there's no chance of her making a life for herself again. And with the restraining order my son got on her, she'll never be able to see him or my grandson again, which is a huge relief. Now that she's on her way to prison, I've been hearing from her lawyer that she's finally started to realize the danger she had put her son in, and that this is the cost of doing so. But even with hearing about how depressed she's become now, I still can't say I feel sorry for her in any way. And I really hope that a year there is enough for her to regret all she's done, in that small cell of hers every day and night. As for myself, I'm going to be going with Alex and moving out to South Korea with my son as he returns to work there. At first, he was planning on moving back home to the States to be with us, but Alex has been saying that he wants to live in the country his dad works. And so after a few talks with my son about it, we're finally on our way overseas. Neither Alex nor I know anything about the language or even the culture there, but the fact that my son and his son will be together again has left me feeling so happy about this. It's been a few months now since moving there, and I hear that Alex has started to make lots of friends at his new school. But what's even crazier is hearing that after only a month or two of studying, he's already able to communicate with the others in Korean. Seeing just how happy and accomplished he looks about his new life here, it really does warm my heart, knowing that this was the right choice for him. From here on, I'm going to continue to support my son and grandson in the best possible ways that I can, and pray that all will stay healthy and that my son and grandson will have the time they need to be around each other here. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Carmela, how are things? Were you able to get me what I asked for?
I have been going around to a bunch of stores, but it doesn't seem to be sold anywhere. Are they only sold in larger department stores?
Yeah, that's probably right.
Honestly, everything is probably sold out in all of these stores, though. It must be pretty popular with everyone, huh?
Well, keep looking. One of my favorite YouTubers collaborated with that group and made those candies with them, so keep it going.
But I've been to pretty much all the stores in the area that would sell them and have found nothing.
Are you kidding me? I knew that those things would be really popular, but I never expected them all to be sold out everywhere. I wonder if there's anyone you can find online to buy them from.
I'm sure there is. It's a really popular thing after all right now. And so I bet there are people that have stocked up on all of them now and plan to sell them at an even higher price, right?
But there is to be some store in town where at least one has been left over, right? Get looking some more, okay? Maybe venture outside town and start looking at some of the smaller supermarkets or something. I bet you there they still have some in stock. Change the area you're looking in and keep on looking some more.
You want me to keep going at this all day? I've gone all over this town and have looked at over 20 different stores now for that stuff.
And that's why I'm asking you to go outside town and check all the smaller stores. Hurry it up. People will only start to get out of work now, and it'll be even harder for you to get around town with all the traffic.
Hold on a second. It's been in the hundreds today outside, and I'm starting to get really hot and tired from being out all day long. I'm sitting in a cafe right now taking a break and drinking some iced coffee, so let me have my break, please.
Huh? Why are you taking a break now of all times? You sitting there taking your time means that someone else can get to everything I want first and buy them. I'm asking you to hurry it up and find them.
But I've been at this all day now, and it's really starting to tire me out a lot. I've already put in a lot of time and effort into shopping for these things that you want for you, but so can you please just let me have a break? I'm really trying my best, but I need some more energy.
Well, so far you spent the whole day out looking, but haven't even gotten me one of those candies. So quit your complaining and get back to it. Once you have one in hand, then I'll let you have your break.
At least let me have 5 more minutes. If I don't have at least a little bit of a rest, I'm going to pass out.
Ugh. I really can't get any use out of you, can I? Seriously, you were the most useless person in my life. I guess I should have asked someone else to help me out today. I should have just taken work off today and gone out myself looking for those candies.
Huh? Come on now, Steven. You'd take a day off work to go out looking for some candy?
Well, if you don't want me to take time off, find what I'm asking you to look for.
All right. Sorry. I'll leave the cafe right now and get back to it.
You better find what I want. And you're not coming home until you have at least one of them in hand for me.
But there is a chance that I won't find one. What'll happen then?
Well, that all depends on how hard you look for them. If you want to be home by tonight, then you get to work and find those dang candies for me.
Is there still medicine at the house for colds? Last month when you had that cold, did you end up using all the medicine up? Or was there still some left over after that?
I think there was a little left over from then. What? Did you catch a cold now or something?
I think so. I'm not feeling too good right now for some reason. Ever since yesterday, I started to get a headache as well as feel a little weak and cold. I was just thinking that if there was no medication at home for this, I'd pick some up on my way home.
Come on now, Carmela. You better not give that cold to me, okay? Do you know that tomorrow I have a trip with my friend to go out camping, right? If I catch a cold now, it'll be all ruined.
Is that right? Wait a second. Do you have the day off work tomorrow?
I used some PTO for this.
Well, you never told me anything about this. I understand that, but
Are you trying to tell me you can't take care of yourself? You are such a failure when it comes to being an adult, Carmela. I'm telling you that if you come around me and give me that cold, I'm gonna be pissed.
you've not caught anything from me yet, right? So you'll be fine, Stephen.
Now hold on though. Ever since this morning, I felt something going on in my throat, and that's had me drinking a lot of water. Could this be that cold you have? You and I both sleep in the same bed together, so it's a high possibility that I got your cold now.
There's also the fact that you run the air conditioner all night long, and that's why your throat is dry. I doubt you've already gotten a cold because of me.
Just screwed up. This is not the week for me to be catching any kind of cold. Even after camping, I can't be sick because I'm becoming more and more busy at work. You are a disgrace.
I'm sorry?
I want you to apologize to me properly for this. You're a total pain in my butt after all.
I'm really sorry, Stephen. But I'm thinking that's not a cold you're coming down with. I just said that I'm feeling a little bad is all. So we don't know yet if I have a cold or not.
Well, for the time being, you'll be sleeping out in the living room. And while you're in this house, you have a mask on at all times. When it comes to eating, you and I are eating in different rooms. Don't you ever come around me. All right?
I guess that's fine. Hey, there's one thing I'd like to ask you. Are you all right if I do?
What?
If I do happen to have a fever or anything like that, will you be worried about me?
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, when you happen to have that cold, you never seem to care about giving it to me.
What are you going on about? Are you trying to say that I'm not worried enough about you?
I'm not saying that.
If you have something wrong with me and how I'm acting, then tell me it straight. I'm tired of listening to you beat around the bush all the time. You have a problem? Tell me.
It's not that I'm upset with you or anything. It's nothing. Just forget it.
People like you that can't just tell me what you want to say seriously causes me such awful headaches, and it drives me nuts.
I'm sorry for getting you all worked up. You can just forget all about what I said.
I'm telling you that if you have something to say, then say it. You know already that when it comes to me, I tell you everything I want to say.
I can see that.
Well, how about you take a page out of my book and do the same? If you're able to be straightforward, then you'll be just as much of a success as me.
You think so?
You know that for a fact. Someone that can't speak when they want to is too weak to be seen as anything other than someone else's doormat in the world. If anything, there are more people in this world like you who are weak and have nothing to show for than there are strong people like me. You should be thankful that you ended up in the arms of someone like me. If you hadn't, everyone would have taken advantage of you.
Are you trying to say that I can't do anything on my own?
Well, yeah. I'm spot on, aren't I? You really can't say anything to me about all of this, can you? I guess you've always been better at staying quiet and doing as I say. So go right ahead and continue being the weak woman you are. I wouldn't be able to last with a strong and independent woman anyway.
Stephen, do you think you can come back home right now?
Why should I do that? I've taken the car out to be cleaned, so I can't right now. You knew about that already, right?
But please, just come home right now.
I told you that's not going to happen now. I said that I would be out for the day, and right now I'm having the car cleaned. I have plans with my friends today, so I can't be late for that either. So stay out of my way.
I just passed out a second ago, though.
What are you talking about?
I fell down after passing out.
Huh? You did? Why? What did you do?
I was just standing when everything went dark and I fell down onto the floor. So I want you to come home and take me to the hospital. I don't think I should be going on my own at a time like this.
Huh? Are you freaking kidding me? What the hell are you doing, Carmela?
You're asking me something like that?
I already told you that today I have plans to go camping with my friend. I've been looking forward to this day for a very long time, right?
I know that, and I'm sure you really want to go now. But before you head out camping, do you think you can stop by the house and take me to the hospital? I can get myself home after I go in so you don't have to stay there. Please?
I don't have time for that right now. I have to come back to the house and grab all my things before heading out. If I have to grab you and take you to the hospital on my way to get my friend, we'll never be able to leave on time.
Please, Stephen. I'm not feeling well at all right now.
I'm sure it's just into the cold, right? Just go to bed and I'm sure it'll fix itself. You don't even have any reason to go to the hospital for any of that. I'm sure you might just be tired or something.
This isn't the same as any of that, though. This is all way different than any sickness I've had before in my life. That's why I'm asking for you to take me to the hospital and drop me off. You already have all your things ready for the camping trip, right? So you can come home and throw it all in your car and we can head out right away.
You're right that all I have left to do is throw my things in the car.
So this won't take much time away from you at all, right? I'll make sure I'm ready to head to the hospital the moment you get here, okay? Please.
Jesus, you're such a pain in my butt. I'll be heading out the moment I get there, so you better be ready.
Thank you, Stephen. Also, I'm glad that you never ended up catching a cold from me.
I'm feeling fine right now, but I really hope that things don't go south when I'm camping with my friend. I really don't even want to ride in the same car as you right now when you're feeling that way.
It's just a short ride over to the hospital, so you'll be all right. I'll be waiting for you in the house, okay?
Fine. I'll be there really soon. This is the worst thing ever. That's the reason I told you I didn't want to go to the hospital with you. I was really hoping to go camping today.
I'm sorry. I didn't think I'd have to be admitted into the hospital right away after arriving.
You are seriously the most troublesome person I know. I was just about to leave the place when that nurse came up to me wanting to talk about your condition. I had to sit there and listen about how you're feeling and fill out all those papers to have you stay in the hospital. I wasn't able to get out of here on time.
They requested that families stay close by so they could explain things to you, so I'm sorry about that.
You just ruined my day off. I have no idea why I ever took the day off work today. The only thing I was able to get done today was cleaning my car.
I'm sorry, Stephen. But you having the day off today really helped me out.
Even if you think I'd help you out a bunch, to me, this was a waste of a good PTO day. I'm never going to be able to get over losing a whole day of paid vacation on this.
You think this was a waste of your day off? Even though it allowed you to help me get to the hospital and everything without having to leave work?
Stop making such a huge deal about yourself.
I'm not trying to. You heard the explanation from my doctor, right? Had I not made it here by the time I'd come in, things would have gotten really bad for me.
Who cares about any of that? The problem you have right now is the fact that my day off has been wasted on you. Tell me, Carmela, how are you going to make this day off up to me that's been wasted on you?
I get that you're upset with not being able to spend the day camping like you planned, but you don't need to say such hurtful things as that. Is it not good enough to hear from the hospital that I'm probably going to be fine? Why are you not thankful that I'm doing a lot better now that I'm in a hospital bed?
Why do you think I should be thankful for you being okay? Are you not more sorry about the fact that you just ruined your husband's plans today to go out camping?
I do feel sorry about all of that. But there was no other choice today, right? I am sick and needed to come here. You understand that I didn't pass out and collapse on purpose, right?
But it's your fault that things turned out this way, right? It doesn't matter if you did it all on purpose or not. Now, you better apologize to me like you always had to before. I want you to apologize to me properly for being such a stupid woman.
Calling me a stupid woman and saying that I'm a waste of your time? Are you sure those are the kinds of things you should be saying to your wife who is really sick? I'd give it up with that attitude right now, you pile of junk.
Huh?
It's pretty messed up of you to get this pissed about me being as sick as I am, causing your plans to be canceled for today. What kind of nerve do you have to be acting this way with your own wife?
What is all of this from you? Why are you acting all tough now?
Who gives a crap that one of your paid days off has been used on taking me to the hospital? I've taken off plenty of days to be home with you so that you'd feel better, or to go out and do crap for you. You wasted a whole day of mine asking me to go out looking for some stupid candy from some stupid YouTuber. Remember that? If you compare something like that day to today, you've gotten off pretty dang easy, right?
That isn't the problem I have with you right now. I took a day of PTO to go out camping with a buddy of mine.
And so what? Are you trying to say that you taking some PTO is an excuse for you to act like a jackass? Are you saying that me dying at home would have been a fair trade-off for allowing you to go camping today?
I never said anything like that.
Well, what you've been whining about these past few minutes makes it seem as though that's exactly what you've been saying. Whenever you came down with something, I'd take my whole day off to be at home with you and take care of all your needs. But when the tables are turned and I'm the one who's sick, you don't want to take the day off and tend to my needs? I think that you are far more useless than I am at this point, Stephen. All you are is heavy, useless baggage at this point.
Who are you calling useless baggage? I'm the breadwinner in our house, right? Who's the one that's made it possible for you to eat every day? Also, it's your job as a woman and my wife to give up your life for me.
Hold on, I'm working a job as well. And without you, I'd be completely fine on my own. If anything, the person who couldn't continue on without the other is you, right? You really think a lot about yourself for someone who can't even take their cold medicine without me in the house, you needless waste of time.
You're calling me the waste of time? Who do you think you are talking to me like that?
I want to ask you the very same question. Who are you? I did want to be married to you, but not to just become some kind of slave that has to live by your commands. Do you think that because you're a man, you can just boss me around and force me to do things that you'd never do for me? Tell me right now that you're not that kind of man, please.
What has gotten into you, Carmela? Why have you started acting this way out of the blue? Did you hit your head on something when you passed out?
This is me when I've had enough of your crap, Stephen. I've had enough of your selfishness. I am not your mom, Stephen.
What is actually going on here? You're not the kind of person that would ever say things like this, right?
I'm sure I did hit my head on something back when I collapsed. And it helped me open my eyes to what's been going on here. I've seen it clearly now, just how unfairly you've been treating me in our marriage. And I think time is up now, and I no longer want to be with you anymore.
You and your crap? How much do you know about me?
What's going on with you? You seem to be pretty upset about something now. Maybe you've been yelled at by your boss after he learned about how you were having a relationship inside work. And not just any relationship, but one while you also have a wife?
So you do know about all of this?
Oh, I know everything and then some about all of that. About how you've been having a relationship with one of your coworkers there.
Since when did you find out about all this?
For about a month now, I think. I had an accidental glance at a message that you got from your coworker there. But even before seeing that message, I knew something was going on with you.
So for the past month, you've just been letting me have an affair with her?
I've just been waiting for the right time to talk with you about all of it. I still wanted to trust that you'd leave her and come back to me again. But after waiting a little bit for you to make the right choice, you only kept moving farther and farther away from it.
Calling my company about all of this is totally screwed up, though. I just got a call from my boss about it all, and he was furious with me. This company already has a strict policy about relationships between employees, but now he knows about me dating another woman here as a married man.
So it seems that you did know about the problems with you going out with your coworker even before having to be told about it. Well, the fact that you did all of that while knowing the rules means your boss has every right to be upset with you. Seems your other girl is a real idiot as well. She's only there as a contractor, technically, right? I'm going to assume that after this, she will no longer have a contract with the company.
This isn't something you can be so happy about. I'm going to be punished for all of this as well, and that will have an impact on you. Right now, it seems like they're going to fire me because of this. Or at the very least, I'm going to have my salary cut. Is that what you wanted?
That's fine by me, actually. Because no matter what happens to you, I'm leaving you.
What are you talking about?
When I'm out of this hospital, you and I are over. That's what my plans are, Stephen. I'll have you know that nothing is going to change my mind now after all I've seen from you.
I think you're going way over the top with this. Are you seriously saying you want to divorce me now? I'll be at the hospital tomorrow, and then you and I can talk things over.
You don't have to come. I'm having my mom bring me my change of clothes, so there's no need for your help there. And if you just come to see me, there will be problems. I've asked for you to not be allowed to see me here. They said they wouldn't even allow you past the front desk, and they have a picture of you, so there's no getting past them now.
Why am I, your husband, not allowed to come and see you? You are seriously taking all of this way too far.
I don't want to hear that from you, mister. You're the one that's taken everything too far by doing anything you've liked and not allowing me a second of rest. How much longer are you planning on taking advantage of me and my kindness?
I get it, Carmela. I'll apologize. But everything that's happened up till now was not okay with me. I was really taking total advantage of you. I thought that since you were already doing so much for me, I could push it a little further. I mean, you've been kind to me in the first place because you love me, right?
I think you have a really bad idea of what love looks like from me.
What do you mean?
The only reason I'd do so much for you wasn't out of my love for you or anything, but because saying anything back to you just made more problems. You'd immediately get angry with me and make a huge deal over nothing. I didn't want to deal with that BS, hence me staying quiet around you. Also, you seem to really think of yourself as some kind of hotshot when it comes to things like work and your personality. But that's not it at all.
What are you saying? What do you mean by all of that?
I really do think it's important to be straightforward with your feelings and about what you want when it comes to this world. But you are not like those kinds of people that actually do it right. The only reason you're straightforward about your opinions and all of that is because you have a big mouth and a small brain. And you also think that by talking a lot and trying to be the loudest in the room about your ideas, you can get all the weaker people to become your friend.
You have it all wrong. I will say what I want, when I want, to anyone I want.
No, you are only able to put on that face when dealing with people you find weaker than you, and that's all. If anything, when you're not talking with me and to somebody you find larger than you stay quiet and don't say a thing that's on your mind. You told me before that you like me because you think of me as weak and in need of you, right? And I agreed with you on that, so that you just shut up and stop acting like a jerk. You say you were just taking advantage of my kindness, but really, you were trying to play me as a real fool.
Well, you changed a bit now. I'm not quite used to you yet, and that's why I've acted a little different around you.
All I'm hearing from you is a bunch of BS excuses. Well, it doesn't matter, because no matter how you try and spin what you've been doing, I can't be with you any longer. You do not have to come to this hospital. So you can sit at home and wait quietly for me to get out of here, all right? And if you want to be a good man, you can go ahead and start getting the divorce paperwork ready. If you get it all ready for me and fill out your half, that would be a huge help.
Hey, can't you just rethink all of this one time? I don't want the two of us getting a divorce. I feel that if you and I discuss all of this in person, we can come to an agreement.
What do you want to talk about in person? You already abused me and were going out with one of your coworkers behind my back. So in what way do you think you can change your disgusting image that's been ingrained in my head? You're the only one that seems to want to fix things now.
Please, Carmela, think about it all for 1 second. I will take everything you have to say to me to heart and make myself into the perfect husband for you.
The fact that you'll only now start taking what I say to you to heart means that everything before this was for nothing. The only thing I want to be thinking about right now is how much money I want from you in a settlement. And I plan to get money from your other woman as well.
I'm asking you to please calm down, all right? I don't want things to get any worse than they already are. Please, just come back to me, Carmela.
I'm not coming back to you because if I do, I won't be the same person you think of me as. Let me just say that this is all happening because of you. You thought that I was too weak and kind to ever do a thing like this, and that's why you took things too far. It pisses me off thinking that you only thought of me as your tool and that you could use all my kindness up and never do anything in return. What you just read ended up being the way I got back at my husband, and it all made me feel really good about myself. After I had finished talking to him, he was called into his boss's office, and there he was yelled at for over 30 minutes. By the end of that meeting with his boss, he learned that he would be taking a 30% cut to his salary and would have his PTO halved in the next year. When it came to his sweetheart in the office, her contract was terminated, and she could no longer work there. But this wasn't the end to the bad luck Stephen got for acting as he did. The rumors about him and his affair at work spread like wildfire to everyone in the office, and he could no longer stand his own against any of them when they'd ask and joke about what happened. And due to all the stress there at work, he developed a terrible stomach ulcer, And hearing about this myself, I laughed, thinking it'd be about the same pain as I experienced. If he had really been the kind of person to actually be outspoken about his opinions and feelings, then he would have never had that much stress build up either, and would never be in the pain he has to experience now. In other words, Stephen is no successful and straightforward person like he said he was, but rather a block-headed idiot that thought he could be a jerk to me and have his way. As for myself, I was able to get a divorce from that loser, and he ended up paying me the amount I asked for in the settlement. His other woman also paid me for the trouble, and I no longer needed to ask either of them for anything anymore. Right now, I'm on the lookout for a new job, and I hope to find one soon so that I can begin my new life as a free woman again. I'm no longer going to live the life of a pushover, allowing people like Stephen to take advantage of me. I'll start to think of myself as the boss, and make sure that anything that happens around me happens with respect to me. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Riley, in place of your father, I've gone ahead and sent the money over for your child support.
Thank you, Grandma. Dad will be back from his trip in 2 months, right?
Yes, it appears so. He really has such a tough job to do. He has to be away from his house all the time, and he's so busy that you can't even get a response out of him for small lengths of time. I'm sorry that it's so hard to stay in touch with him, Riley.
He has a really cool job, but it is a very tough one. But don't worry, Grandma. I understand his situation. And also, we both made a promise that the moment he gets back, we'll get together. He told me that he'd take me out for some really good dinner at the place of my choosing.
But right now you're busy studying for your exams, right? Aren't you a bit too busy to be doing things like that?
When he's back in town, I'll take the day off to see him. I don't need to study every single day of my life for this exam, right?
Well, as long as you're feeling confident. But you being that confident is all thanks to the time and effort you've already been putting in at school. That's really paid off for you so far. You are such a great kid.
Actually, I really want to work a job like Dad does. So that's why I've been paying good attention in school and know a lot of things. I still have ways to go yet, but someday I want to be the person anyone can rely on.
Well, in my eyes, even now I think of you as someone I can rely on for anything. So just make sure you're not working yourself too hard or something you already have. You told me before that you stayed out really late studying for one of your tests in history, right?
Well, that's just the amount of studying I needed to do for that test. I have trouble sometimes remembering things like names and locations in history. I also had to work my part-time job that day, so that's what led me to coming home really late.
What? You're working part-time now?
Well, occasionally.
But you're only months away from your exams, right? Can you at least clear your schedule of work until after you've taken all of them?
I can't, though. I have to balance things out for myself, so don't worry. Also, I kind of need the money. There's something I've been really wanting.
Something you've been wanting? You can't just buy it with the allowance you're already getting?
It's a secret, actually.
If it's something that you really want, then I guess I can't stop you from working towards it. But just make sure not to overdo it, okay? It's only you and your mom right now, so you've been having to help out with chores around the house, right?
Grandma, I'm totally fine. I've been doing the chores around the house for a long time now. And doing things like this now will get me used to what life will be like living on my own.
But the fact that you're doing so much right now is what's worrying me. I know I'm always saying this to you, but if you ever find yourself in need of help, don't be afraid to come to me. And at times when you're not able to get in touch with your father, you can come talk to me about it.
Okay, thank you, Grandma. But you are aware that I'm in my senior year of high school, right? So you can really calm down about all of this and know I have myself handled.
Well, to me, even your father is still a child and needs my care at times. Which means that you are still a baby to me.
Come on now. You're the only one that still thinks of me as some kind of toddler. Everyone else seems to think of me in another way, calling me one of the most adult-like teens they've ever met.
It's fine for me to think of you as a child still, right? Because really, in my eyes, you are the same little Riley I've always known. And that's because you are still so dang cute to me. Anyway, me being this worried about you is only because I have to live so far away from you now.
Thank you so much, Grandma. But I really have everything handled in my life, and I'm totally fine. If anything, you need to start worrying about yourself more than me, right? I heard from Dad a few weeks ago that you went for a little hike and ended up falling down hurting your ankle pretty badly, right?
I can't believe he'd talk with you about something like that. I just happened to not see the root sticking out of the ground in front of me and I caught my foot on it. I'm completely fine now.
Well, if that's the case, then fine. But you know that it's only going to get colder this month, so please make sure not to catch any colds, alright?
Okay. And the same thing goes for you, Riley. Make sure you're staying really warm and are taking hot showers when needed. Tiffany, I was very surprised by what just happened. You came over here, right?
Judith, I'm sorry that I didn't really say anything to you a second ago when we crossed paths.
No, you don't have to be sorry about that. You happened to be with someone else at the time. That was someone from work, right? Something like that?
Yes, that's absolutely right. I am on a small business trip right now, and that's why I'm back in town around here.
That's what I had assumed. Well, anyway, I've been talking with Riley quite a bit, but are you doing all right for yourself, Tiffany?
Yeah, I'm making it work. It's been a long time since things happened between your son and I, and well, I'm getting used to being a single parent. And Riley's gotten a lot bigger now. And of course, having you around to help out with her has helped me a lot as well.
Riley's really become one of the smartest, most mature people I've ever met. That just shows how well you've been raising her, Tiffany.
You don't have to say things like that.
I understand things are a lot tougher than when it's just you in the house taking care of your daughter, but I really am thankful that a woman like you has been there to raise my beautiful granddaughter.
And the same thing goes for me. Thank you for always being there to talk with Riley when she needs it.
Now that we're talking about her, she had told me something earlier this week. Is she really working a part-time job right now?
Ah, right. Yes, she is.
I'm a little bit worried about her putting some of her time into something like that when she has some really big exams coming up here soon. Riley told me that having a part-time job and all that has helped her learn to balance her time and whatnot, and that she needs the money to buy something she's been wanting. But really, I want her to be more focused on her exams for the time being, until she's finished taking all of them. Tiffany, do you have any idea what Riley's been wanting to buy? If it's something she needs a bit of money for, then I'd be glad to lend some.
No. You don't have to be worried about that. The thing that Riley's been wanting is something that really doesn't affect her life in any way.
Is that right? But she told me it's something she's not able to afford with her allowance. So it must be something really expensive.
The girl's in her senior year of high school, right? By this point, I'm sure that she has a lot of other girls in her grade have all kinds of brand name clothing and goods. I think that Riley herself probably wants a bag or something, and that's why she's saving up.
Wow, so she's really started to get into wanting high-end brands now.
The kids these days are all loaded with all sorts of branded things. From backpacks to pencil cases, it's wild. I'm not sure if they're buying them with their own money or if it's from their parents spoiling them, but even the girls that Riley hangs out with a lot happen to have some really nice bags.
I guess she is a young woman now, and when they get to that age, they really start to find interest in things like that. I'm just a bit surprised that someone like Riley would want something as expensive as a brand bag or whatnot. I always assumed that she never really cared about those sorts of things.
Well, with the world we're living in now, people are constantly talking about branded things online on all forms of social media. There are even girls her age acting as influencers, trying to get other people to join in on buying the same things they have. She's had a lot of chances now to see things like that, and I'm sure that's all playing a huge part.
Huh? Times have really changed.
Naturally, from the point of view of parents, We know that as our kids get into their teens, they are going to want more and more expensive things. Of course, if they are willing to work for their own money to get those things, I have no right stopping them. So that means, in Riley's case, you really don't have to lend her any money to go out and buy things like that.
That's right. I guess with the way things are now, it's best that I let her handle her own money, instead of having me hand mine over to her. But she really does have some very important exams coming up here, so is it really okay for her to be working when she needs to be studying?
She's working because she wants to, so you can let it be now. If her working that part-time job leads to her failing the exams, then that's on her, right?
Well, if that's what you're fine with, I won't make any comments on it. But just know that right now is the most important time for her to be studying for those exams. And with the college she's wanting to aim for, it's a hard place to get into, and most other people who plan to go there are already doing cram school and things like that when they get out of class for the day. I'm just worried Riley hasn't been taking this whole thing as seriously as she should be.
If Riley is telling you that she's fine, then I think that's good enough reason to believe in what she's saying. She's a very smart girl and knows how to handle things like this.
Of course, this isn't about me not believing in her or anything like that.
Judith, you're being a bit too worrisome about all this. We have rules over at my house as well when it comes to things like studying for big tests, and know that Riley is following all of them. Also, that girl wants to work part-time right now.
I'm sure that's the case. I'm really sorry, Tiffany. I think I may have talked far too much on this topic now.
No worries. I understand that you are a little anxious about how things are going for Riley. But that girl has made up her mind on what she wants to do, and there's no changing that. No matter what I've tried saying to her, she's told me she's not quitting that job.
That's true. All right, then. If that's something that Riley really wants to be doing at this point in time, I'm not going to do anything more to try and stop her. As for yourself, you haven't had anything you've been worried about recently, right? Nothing troubling you, perhaps?
Nothing that I'm aware of. Right now, things feel like they're going as they should be.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm sorry for taking up a lot of your time talking about things today. It was nice seeing you earlier, even if it was only for a second.
No, thank you for texting me today.
Well then, good luck with whatever work you have left on this small business trip of yours. Make sure you're taking good care of your health as well, all right?
Grandma, I finished all my exams.
Good work, Riley. How are you feeling now that the tests are all over with?
Well, I'm feeling like I did a really good job on all of them. But who knows, right? I really hope I didn't make any stupid mistakes on any of the questions.
I think that you did your very best this time, Riley. I'm sure even your teachers have been telling you that you're a really great student and that you never make stupid mistakes anymore, right?
They do say things like that, but this time was different. I mean, everyone taking these exams have all studied to some degree. But no matter how much someone studies for these exams, there is always room for a thoughtless mistake to ruin it all. Well, after taking all those exams, I've just lost a little bit of my confidence.
But even if you make one or two mistakes that lead to you failing the exam, the world's not over, right? You can always do a retake at the end of the day.
No, I can't.
Huh? Are you not planning to retake the exams if you fail one of them?
Well, it costs a lot of money to have to go and study some more for a test like that.
But your father or I can help you pay.
But I really don't want to force either of you to have to keep paying for my education like that.
But you are my granddaughter, so I will do anything for you and never see it as a problem.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure. You've never once caused me any kind of trouble, and needing financial help for your future is something I'm completely fine with doing for you. You are very, very important to me, Riley. I understand that I'm living far away from you now, but I will do anything in my power to help you out. I'm always saying things like this, right? When you're in trouble, you can always come and talk to me.
Grandma? Actually, I've been wanting to ask something from you for a very long time now.
Ask something from me? What is it?
Grandma, could you please pay my tuition so that I can go to college? Of course, this is only if I get a good enough score on my exams and end up being accepted. But if I am accepted, it'll be around $40,000 for the first year there. Of course, I'll continue to work myself while going to school, and will use that money I earn to pay you back slowly. But Grandma, I really, really, really want to go to college. And especially this one that I've had on my mind.
What are you talking about? We have been giving your mother money this whole time to help pay for you when you go to school. I'm sure it won't be able to cover all the costs, but she herself has been working a job all this time and should have been saving up for you, right? I feel that I've at least given her enough money to support you going to school for a year or two, right?
What? My mom told me she never received that kind of money.
Ah, well, that's because when it comes to paying for college, it costs a large amount of money. I put it all into her bank account and not into yours.
But she's never told me anything about that money.
Perhaps she's forgotten to tell you about it or something? I know that she's been a very busy woman herself, so maybe she's totally forgotten that you need to know about the money now.
I don't think that's the case. She would have never been saying the things she said to me if she's received money from all of you for me to go to school. She's been telling me for a year now that the only way I'm going to college is if I pay for it myself.
What? She told you that?
That's why I've been working so hard to study both for my exams and work a part-time job.
So the thing that you've been wanting wasn't some expensive bag, but tuition for school?
An expensive bag? I don't really care about branded clothing or bags, Grandma.
But your mother told me something like this when I asked her a few months ago.
Mom said that? That's a freaking lie! Aren't you aware that my mom likes to say things like that in order to make herself look good? I think that Mom has been using all that money you and Dad gave her for me on herself.
Are you sure? Your mother would never do something like that, right?
Grandma, my mom is that kind of selfish woman. The reason Dad had to divorce Mom is because Mom did a lot of bad things to him.
You're telling me that it was her fault for the divorce? I heard from her that it was just due to both of them not wanting the same things in marriage any longer.
I think her and Dad were just saying that to keep you out of all of it. The real reason Dad left her is because she had been cheating on him with another man.
Tiffany cheated on my son? Are you sure?
Yes. I'm sorry for telling you all this horrible stuff after not hearing about it ever. Dad had been doing his best to hide it from you, and now I've gone and spilled it.
You don't have to worry about your parents' secret. I am a little shocked by all of this, but that all happened years ago, so there's nothing I can do about it now. And the reason you went and told me just then is because you've been working so long to hide all of that from me, right?
Yes.
But we can't forget what your mother did back then. Right now, we need to focus on the fact that your mother has been using your college funds all for herself. I trusted your mother every time I handed that money off to her. To hear that she's been using it all for herself this whole time?
It's just not the school money that she's been using up either. She's even been using up all the child support you've been giving her.
Huh? What do you mean? That money I've been giving directly to you from your dad, right?
I'm so sorry, Grandma.
What? Why are you sorry? What happened between you and your mother?
There is something else I've been hiding from you.
Hello, Tiffany.
Judith, what's been going on with you?
This is about your daughter. Starting today, she is going to be living with me in my house.
Huh?
She's pretty much finished going to high school now, right? And after talking with all her teachers at school, they gave her permission to do her last few days online from here. I'll be taking her to school on the day of her graduation, so there's no need to worry about her missing that in person.
Can you tell me what the heck you're talking about right now? I'm sorry, but I really have no idea what all of this is about.
Are you really sure you have no idea what this could all be about?
Yeah.
I have been giving you money to save up for when Riley went to college, right?
Yes. And I made sure to put that into a special savings account for her.
Well, even while you've had that money from myself and my son, you've told Riley that she has to pay for her tuition all by herself? And that's the reason for why Riley's had to work a part-time job this whole time, right?
You have to understand, I've never had any reason to say something like that to her. Was Riley the one that told you all that herself? Judith, I think that Riley had just gone and lied to you.
And why would Riley ever want to lie to her grandma about something like that?
I'm sure she just wants you to start giving her money. She probably feels that if she can get you to believe her, you'll be the easiest way for her to get loads of money.
Tiffany, I've already heard about everything regarding you and that school money for Riley. And it hasn't just been that money, right? You've even been stealing the child support that we've been giving to Riley every month, haven't you?
Please do not say things like that about me when you've only heard them from a child. I have been using that child support to make sure that she's raised properly. What's wrong with me taking that money from her anyway? I'm her mom, and I think I have the right to the money that the court said I deserve each month.
But you haven't even used a penny of that child support on Riley, right? You use all that money on yourself thinking that you deserve it, not her. Riley has to pay for everything herself. She has to pay for her own smartphone, for her own clothing, for her own utensils for school. And it's all paid for by that part-time job she's been working.
She's been a high schooler for 4 years now. I have to have her pick up some of the slack in this house. I'm a single parent, and I have been for years and years.
Did you know that the only reason my son and I have been paying child support for Riley still is because he never knew she had a part-time job? That was a part of the conditions signed in court even, given by the judge. As long as she's not working, you guys will receive child support. Strange that you've still been getting money from us when she's working for herself now.
It's a really tough and tight life having to live with only the two of us here.
I heard from Riley that you're barely even working a job yourself, though. And before, when you came to town where we ran into one another for a split second, that wasn't for work, was it? I've been told you came back into town to go out on a date with your current lover.
You have it all wrong.
Well, if this is how things have been, then I'd like the money I gave you for Riley to go to school right now.
You want that money back right now?
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry, but I can't give you all that money back.
But I thought you said it was all in a separate bank account meant for her. So you've gone and used it all?
Actually, I was fired from my job. And because of that, I wasn't able to afford all the necessities in our house. I'm sorry.
You really are full of these bullcrap excuses, aren't you? I'm going to have a lawyer get in touch with you and get all my money back. And of course, along with that, you'll no longer be receiving any child support from us.
You can't do that to me. That's a huge problem.
I told you that Riley will be over at my house now, living with me, so there's no need for you to get any more money to raise her, right? Child support is only received and used for the sake of the child, of whom you no longer have under your roof anymore.
I'm the one with custody of her, though. Without my approval, you won't be allowed to have her move into your house with you.
Tiffany, do you remember how old Riley is now? She's already turned 18. And according to the law, once someone becomes the age of 18, they have the right to decide on where to live and what to do with their life. It's up to Riley now on how she wants to live her life as an adult.
Hold on for 1 second, though. Riley is already over at your house right now? Let me have a word with her, please.
Riley's told me she no longer wants to talk with you anymore. She must feel as though you just want to threaten her or something now, right? I'm getting that sort of feeling from you myself as well. Riley's already told me about how she's not even related to her own father by blood.
She's gone and told you that now as well?
Yes, she has. I've heard all about it. You and her had a bad fight a while back, right? Over the child support we'd been putting into her account? And when she was not giving you the money you kept asking for, you yelled that she's probably not even related to my son by blood, right? I'm aware that you have even been keeping that fact from us as your ace in the hole, right? That if my son or I stopped sending you money for Riley, you'd threaten us by saying she's not even related to us and that you could take her away at any moment. I know that you already said that to her, and that's what forced her to keep working part-time because she was afraid of never getting to see her dad and I ever again. But listen here. That sort of thing isn't going to fly anymore.
You're wrong. That is all a bunch of crap from Riley. Judith, can you please just believe me here?
Why the hell should I believe any of the things you want to say? The fact that you're not even going to hand me all of her school money back right now tells me all I need to know about the truth surrounding you. And just to make sure I covered everything, I had someone investigating you these past few days. You seem to leave your house quite a lot for someone with no job. Going out to play all the time instead of doing the chores? I guess you really haven't given a single crap about your daughter, have you?
Riley is a senior in high school now, though. She doesn't need me around to live her life anymore.
That's 100% correct. She does not need you around anymore to live her own life. And that's why she is no longer going to be living under your roof any longer. Also, things have been this way ever since you had that divorce with my son, right? You're telling me that you've been leaving the house all day and skipping out on chores ever since Riley was in her first year of middle school? I hate that. How could I have never noticed any of that going on with you guys?
Judith, please. I don't mind letting Riley live over there with you. But can you at least give me child support every month? Or at least find some way to hand me some money for a couple more years?
How much more money do you need before you'll shut the hell up? Riley's been living on her own ever since 6th grade. And that whole time, she was left having to support herself, especially when it came to money. Food, water, electricity. If a 6th grader can start dealing with all that at her age, then you are more than capable of handling your own life now. I also know about what your plans were for her next. You never wanted her to leave for college because you planned to have her live with you in that house for the rest of your life, also that she could be like your mother.
I never wanted something like that.
Well, who cares now? I want all that money I handled you for her schooling back. And along with that, you are never to come around Riley ever again.
Let me come and see her right now. At least let her text me. I will apologize to her. I want to apologize to her. Just give me a few minutes with her and I promise to make things right. She hasn't been talking to me for days now, so please.
Riley's told me she doesn't want to talk to you nor see you, so it's over. Riley never happens to change her mind once it's been made up, right? She's the kind of girl you'll never be able to stop, so just leave it. You were the one saying things like that to me months ago about her, right? After that, I had a lawyer that I got in touch with go over to Tiffany's house and start laying out all the details as to why and when to get me all that money back I gave her for Riley's college. And well, after a few days, Tiffany's parents decided to step in on her behalf and give me the money I was owed. From this, we also learned that this whole time, Tiffany's parents have been giving her money to take care of herself after losing her job. But when they both found out about what was going on, they told her she would never have their support again. With no more money coming in anymore and the inability to pay rent, Tiffany ran away from her house and went off to the house of her new partner. But it turns out that the man she'd been with for some time wasn't as serious about things as she was, so he kicked her out of his house. She then turned to staying in a hotel for a little bit, and during this time she sent a text to her ex-husband. And in that text, sounding like the most spoiled witch on this planet, she asked him if he would start sending her some money again to help her out. Of course, my son said no to that request before blocking her number for good. But my God, was that the most stupid thing I'd ever heard about from my son. I cannot believe that a girl in high school was able to work enough to make money to support herself somewhat, but a full-grown woman who should have a job and everything wasn't able to do a thing for herself. I don't care at all what happens with Tiffany after all this, but I want to make sure that she never comes around my granddaughter and her father ever again. As for Riley, she happened to pass all her exams and was accepted into the college of her dreams, and is at this moment getting really excited about becoming a college student. For her to get to that school, it only takes about 30 minutes on foot from my house, so I'm glad to say that she'll be staying with me in this house while she's attending. And when it comes to my son, he's coming back now from his long business trip out of state and has been crying for days about hearing everything that had been going on with Riley and her mother. He's been apologizing to her about it, but only to be apologized back to by Riley, as she feels bad for never telling him the truth about what had been going on in her mother's house. During that whole week, these two cried a whole lot, and it was to the point that even I began to cry about it all. There was one other thing that came out of all this, and that was the relation Riley has to her father. Tiffany had made it seem as though she wasn't his real child, and that started to make Riley very worried about everything. So because of that, they both took a DNA test. Nobody really knows if Tiffany was telling the truth or not about that, as she could have been with any number of other men while with my son. But if it were to turn out that she wasn't my son's daughter, he told her that he'd love her just the same as he's always loved her. When the results had come back from that test, it was found that she really is related to her father. And when seeing that, the both of them began to cry again. As of right now, we're all living under my roof again, as my son has sold his house to be able to send Riley to college. And as a family all under my roof again, my son and I are going to make sure that Riley is treated to the life she deserved at her mother's house, but never got. And even after she's out of college, I want her to know that she'll always have a place in my house, no matter what.
Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.